What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to do my prediction on the Fiesta Bowl matchup between the TCU Horned Frogs versus the Michigan Wolverines. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel. It helps me grow as a content creator. All right, guys, this is the semifinal matchup, and you got two teams. You got the number 2 team in Michigan going against the number 3 team in TCU. And I'm gonna read off the stats for both teams, guys, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, you have TCU coming off a loss in their championship matchup against the Kansas State Wildcats. And TCU as a team, they had a lot of close matchups this season, but they always find a way to pull it out. And they're very, very good, guys, both on defense and offense. And speaking of offense, I'm going to speak on their quarterback, Max Duggan. This guy has done a phenomenal job for TCU all season. Definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and was at the Heisman ceremony and could have won it. He's thrown for 3,321 yards with 30 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So what can I say, guys? If I'm not mistaken, he was the runner-up to winning the Heisman. We all know Caleb Williams won it, but Max Duggan has been consistent all season. And this guy can sling the ball, guys. He's very elite at his position. And he got some guys that he, got next to him. He has Kendre Miller. This guy right here, he's ran for 1,342 yards with 17 touchdowns. This guy's phenomenal for TCU's backfield. Elite guy at the position, and I'm gonna just read off, some other guys that he has on the field. Like I said, Kendre Miller, 1,342 yards, 17 touchdowns. He's averaging 6.2 yards a carry. So this guy is a beast of a running back, and definitely gives TCU that it factor. And they're very lethal on offense, guys. Very, very good. I think it's Garrett Riley. He's the TCU's offensive coordinator. Very, very great offensive mind, and he has TCU playing at a high level. They also have Amari Demiricardo. I might have butchered his name, but he has 472 yards on the season, and he has 5 touchdowns. So TCU has capable running backs. The way they scheme on offense is very, very lethal. They also have Quinston Johnston, wide receiver. This guy is very, very good as well. 903 yards on the season, receiving yards. He has 5 touchdowns. Very, very good wide receiver. Their number 1 leading wide receiver. They also have Tay Barber. He has 593 receiving yards, and he has 4 touchdowns. Then they had Darius Davis. He has 418 yards on the season with 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, this TCU offense is just killer, man. And they even put Kendre Miller out at receiving sometimes. So, like I said, very, very wide open offense. And Michigan going to have their hands full against this TCU offense. And but their defense is no slouch as well, guys. Their leading tackler, Johnny Hodges, he has 76 tackles on the season. And this guy's a phenomenal guy for TCU's defense. He has 2 sacks on the season, 1 pass defended. And definitely the leader on their defense. TCU's defense is no slouch, guys. I'm going to be watching this matchup between, TCU's defense versus Michigan's offense, because Michigan, we all know Blake Corman's not going to play in this game, but they definitely have a guy that I'm going to get to. But back with TCU's defense, of course, interceptions-wise, they got Bud Clark, the safety, and he has 4 interceptions on the season. So this TCU defensive front is going to be interesting, guys. They're very, very scrappy, and they're really, really good. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Now I'm going to go over to Michigan. Now, we all know their quarterback position. They have J.J. McCarthy. This guy has thrown for 2,376 yards, and he's thrown for 20 touchdowns. He has 3 interceptions, but very, very good guy. This is a guy that eventually won the job. Cade McNamara left, and he became the guy. he came the guy before McNamara left and everything like that, and that pushed McNamara out. But this is a guy uh, fighting for the position and was able to get it, and definitely brought a spark to Michigan's offense, and he's definitely gotten better over the season. Had a phenomenal game against Ohio State, and just another good guy at the position. And of course, uh, like I said, at running back, Blake Corum is out the season with a season-ending injury, and definitely a guy. But Michigan has Donovan Edwards, and this guy has emerged, guys. He has 872 yards on the ground. He has 7 touchdowns. This guy is averaging 7.5 yards a carry. So he's actually doing better than Blake Corum for far as average-wise. So uh, Michigan still has a capable running back that can step up. And they do have C.J. Stokes behind him. He has 273 yards, but definitely a guy to look at is Donovan Edwards. This guy's came in and just done a phenomenal job for Michigan's rush offense. I'm sorry. So really, really good. But Michigan also has Ronnie Bell, wide receiver. He has 754 yards on the season, and he has 3 touchdowns. This is a guy that you can depend on. He's the leading receiver, but he's always there for Michigan to pick up the necessary yardages that they need. So definitely a guy, to look out for TCU, and for TCU to cover. Cornelius Johnson, he's also a guy. He has 469 yards on the season. He has 6 touchdowns. So Michigan has guys. Another guy that TCU is going to have to look out for is Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end. This guy can be a difference maker in this matchup. He has 386 yards receiving, and he has 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to be looking for that matchup, with Schoonmaker, in TCU secondary, because this guy can get behind you, and he's a big target. So it's going to be interesting in this matchup. And I'm going to read off the stats, for both teams, overall stats. Let's see if I can get on back to it. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup, guys, and I can't wait to see it. Now, points per game, TCU is averaging 40.3 points per game. Michigan is averaging 40.1. So both teams are dead even at 40 points per game, guys. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Now, points per game allowed, TCU is allowing 25 points per game. Michigan is only allowing 13. So Michigan has the advantage here in the defensive category, guys. And they're putting up the same amount of numbers as TCU. So something's got to give there. We're gonna see. In my opinion, TCU's offense is way more complex than Michigan is right now. TCU is very explosive. So, but Michigan is right there with them. So it's gonna be interesting without Blake Corum, at running back. Like I said, Donovan Edwards is right there. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup, guys. Now total yards, TCU is averaging 473. If you were to break that down, they're averaging 273 through the air and they're getting 200 on the ground. Very balanced offense. You can't ask for anything more than that. Anything over 150 yards rushing is really, really good. And TCU is almost passing for 300 yards through the air. So, like I said, Michigan is going to have to go against this offense, that TCU is running. Michigan is averaging 453 total yards of offense. That's 210 through the air, and that's 243 on the ground. Michigan is the better rushing offense of the two teams. So TCU is going to have to stop their rush. Michigan is very, very good on the line of scrimmage offensively. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, guys. Something got to give here in this matchup. Yards allowed, TCU is allowing 385 per game. Michigan is allowing 277. And if you were to break that down for TCU, they're allowing 235 through the air and they're allowing 149 on the ground. Right at the sweet spot of, in my opinion, of running the ball, So TCU is giving that up to opponents. So, like I said, in this matchup, we all know Michigan can run the ball very, very well. Can TCU stop this rush? That's going to be interesting going in this matchup. Like I said, 277 allowed for Michigan. They're allowing 191 through the air and only 85 on the ground. That's going to be key. Uh, can Michigan stop, Condre Miller for TCU? Like I said, the guy's explosive. And Michigan's going to be tasked with stopping the run and stopping Max Duggan at quarterback because he can run as well. So it's going to be interesting, guys. I'm looking at their opponents. TCU pretty much beat everybody. Like I said, some close matchups here and there. Texas Tech, they won 34-24. They beat Texas, by 17-10. It was a low-scoring matchup. Like I said, the TCU defense is pretty good, guys. It's not as good as Michigan's, in my opinion, but they're pretty good. Baylor, they beat them 29-28. Like I said, a game they could have lost. Very close matchup, but TCU found a way to win that game. If I'm not mistaken, they kicked the last minute field goal, and they had to rush and do it, but they got it off. And they won that game. Beat Iowa State, 62-14, a team, they should have beat. Iowa hasn't been that good this season. And then, like I said, in the championship, Big 12 championship, lost to Kansas State, 31-28. And like I said, Kansas State is a team, it was pretty good this season, but apparently that was a good loss because TCU was still able to get in. So TCU could have easily won that matchup as well. So that's TCU's schedule. Michigan, like I said, pretty much dominated for the most part. Beat Nebraska, beat Rutgers, but I had a close matchup against Illinois, guys. Illinois, defensively, Illinois got one of the best defenses in the country, and Ryan Walters over there was doing a heck of a job with their Illinois defense, and they was able to hold Michigan only to 19 points, but Michigan was able to get the victory, 19-17 against Illinois. And we all know Michigan had the big matchup against Ohio State. Game was close the whole time, but Michigan was able to pull away at the end in the fourth quarter. And it just slipped out of Ohio State's hands. They was right there, but they just fell apart at the end. And Michigan beat them 45-23. Huge victory. It looks like it was a blowout, but Michigan was able to capitalize on some mistakes Ohio State did in the end of the game. So huge victory for Michigan, beating Ohio State 2 years in a row. Now entering into their Big Ten matchup, championship matchup. They beat Purdue 43-22, a team in Purdue that I'm pretty, Purdue, in my opinion, didn't really have a chance against Michigan. Michigan has just been consistent all season, and like I said, Michigan is coming off a win, and TCU is coming off a loss, a close loss at that. So, spread-wise, they had the game at 7.5 for Michigan. In my opinion, I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to pick Michigan for this matchup, guys. But it's kind of a pick that I'm kind of, I can go back on, guys, because TCU's offense is really, really good. But they're going against a team in Michigan that's been playing really, really good defensively all season. I don't think TCU has played a defense as good as Michigan's. And like I said, Michigan is only giving up 13 points per game. It's going to be tough, in this matchup. But I can definitely see it being a 7-point game because I think TCU is going to keep it close. But I got Michigan winning. I want to say I can see 35-28. I can definitely see that. It could be closer, guys. It could be 35-31, but I think Michigan, the fact that they're able to have an offense, that's scoring 40 points per game. Michigan used to have a problem with, putting up points. And last couple of seasons, they've been doing really, really well. They did good last season. Like I said, was able to get into the playoffs. They gotten better offensively, in my opinion. They definitely was very, very good early on the season with Blake Corum. But like I said, Donovan Edwards comes in, insert running back. Michigan is still there. So I'm trusting Michigan's run game against TCU. Like I said, TCU is giving up right at the sweet spot for me, 150 yards rushing per game that they're allowing. So I can see Michigan controlling the line of scrimmage. Um, but TCU is going to be scrappy, guys. TCU might have some early success, but I think if Michigan just relies on the run game, uh, that's going to open up the pass later on. And I think J.J. McCarthy is going to do a better job as well, passing the ball downfield and might pick up where he left off with Ohio State. He played the game of his life in that matchup. But you can't overlook Max Duggan, guys. TCU can easily win this game, but I'm picking Michigan to win it. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm definitely will be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.